China, I heard that they're banning children from playing video games more than 3 hours a week. The reason why this is interesting, we talked about video game stocks before, Hero. A lot of the video gaming culture stems from Asia, and I watch a lot of these documentaries. I never forget it was a documentary I watched on I believe it was somebody in China. I'm pretty sure it was China, and the guy went blind because he was playing video, and it's different. Like they have different their games on their phone are a lot less like complicated. It's like very like simple, like formatted games, like low level technology. But those is like huge in China. And
He went blind from playing video games?
yeah,
Yeah, that actually happened. That actually happened.
went blind. That's a fact. So that the video game addiction is huge, and it's also a big business. We talk about Hero, the video game ETF, Nintendo, even AMD. So what do we feel about that?
Well, so I start my daughter, like I give her an hour on the iPad, come up off the thing. You know what I'm saying? I don't take it from her, but I be like, not too much, because what happens is China understands the idea of letting something else program kids, bro. That's why they teach kids multiplication early. They teach them how to count from back to front. Like that's purposely done to enhance the brain. Over here, we program, we let our kids do that, to get into that. And then now they don't know nothing but the game. Like I be having to take it from my daughter. Like, yo, come up off that, man. You know what I'm saying? Then I get in there and start teaching and stuff. So I think it's a good thing. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
It's interesting because the words are very important, right? The key is that online gaming. It doesn't just mean gaming, right? Like I could still play my game. I just can't have that online factor. Like Trav, Shotty. I don't know, Shotty, you didn't really play video games like that, but like we come from that era where we would just play.
He was
games.
hooping all day.
He was hooping, right?
Like,
that's what I'm saying. I never knew him to play a video game. I'll be honest.
So, but game of life, man.
Oh God!
Yeah. He gonna come kill it. Yeah, I knew it. You left yourself open for that.
He's a bar.
Oh my God, he was waiting for that. That was an alley-oop for him. But it's still. I don't think it combats the addiction piece, right? Because I could still play without being online. It's very interesting because it feels like that control. Like in China's very big on control, right? So when they're saying that 3 hours a week, they're saying like, yo, you can only play Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And if it's a public holiday, maybe. But it's also requiring like the online gaming industry to say, look, you have to create an anti-addiction format in your system. And so that affects multiple industries now, right? Because now, like what Shadi was saying, AMD, you're affecting the semiconductors, right? Because if people are not consuming and using games anymore, then the supply goes down. If people, right? So you think about companies like a Nintendo, you think of companies like a Sony, like a Microsoft, and their gaming industries. What does that do? Because China is a major part of that. And also Tencent, right? If you look at Tencent, oh my gosh, like think about what that's about to do to that company. Like they've already been bombed with regulations, and now you put this into place. This is scary times.
Yeah.
But going back to my little conspiracy theory, China's plan for global domination. If I begin to take profits from the top companies, my people already, whether out of fear or out of force, act like a small military or a small army, and I can program my children. They are preparing for their generations to be able to dominate us. And if we're going to be honest, for those of you that have traveled abroad, we're behind in terms of education, lifestyle, health, and education dramatically.
Yep.
From a parent standpoint, I think it was very poignant. I love Steve Jobs dearly, but he wouldn't let his family use the iPad longer than an hour a day. And he created the thing. Now, when I was on stage walking around, like, now see was chilling on the couch at InvestFest, like, post it and wouldn't move. Like, so you have to then look and see, what does Steve Jobs know about the stickiness, as they will call it, or the addiction rate of the iPad and iPhone that is not being shared publicly, that can have a tremendous impact on our kids. And let's be honest, technology does not make you smarter, it programs you more. That's why when Pearson came on last week, he doesn't have social. I'm like, you are intelligent as hell to not get on social and get caught in that loop cycle of being drugged into everyone else's propaganda. So I think there is some control and fear-based stuff going on there, but from a parent standpoint, I think it's absolutely brilliant.
It's good for the economy as well, man. For their economy, like they just understand the power of that. Like I even read something a while back that says like even that whole scroll your thumb thing, just scrolling, like that's an addictive thing to do. You know what I'm saying? On a
That's me on TikTok.
yeah. Just,
Well, you know, I had carpal tunnel syndrome. Like,
Mm.
I was on my phone a lot. I developed two things that got me a little nervous. A bad twitch in my eye.
Yeah, that happened to me twice. Yeah.
And also, my thumb like started shaking. So I'm left-handed, so I started using my other hand because I realized that I was my thumb. I was like developing carpal tunnel syndrome in my thumb because I was using it so much on my phone.
That's an addictive thing. That I read of that, but that in itself, that scrolling. So I'm not mad at them. I'm saying I do it with my daughter. I'll be like, yo, get off that phone, yo.
Yeah.
Get off that iPad. Nah, so and it's gonna force us to be parents, man.
Yeah, I was gonna say like the iPad becomes a babysitter for a lot of people.
Go on that pad.
Yeah. Go get your iPad.
Yeah, straight up.
And so like China has now become the parent for the country,
Parent.
its own country.
How are they planning on enforcing that?
So that's what I was trying to say. Like, so they're saying, look, if let's say I have a PlayStation, they're saying like, look, you have to put something in your system, your online gaming system, that will restrict people from going past an hour online. You see what I'm saying? And so that now you infecting multiple businesses by putting these things in place, and you have such a large population. You got 110 million minors in the country.
Yeah, but when they released that Madden, and if 2K finally make any improvements, and opposed to just keep re-releasing the same game, we've been playing 2K, the same one for 9 years. Ronnie, do something.
You know that they
My God.
Take Two Interactive. I hope you're listening.
Yes, please.
A rate that says how long, like even on Facebook, they have us like when you look at listening to earnings calls and Twitter and Netflix, they have a stat for how long the user stays on. Like that number is monitored heavy when you're looking at like social media. So you look at SOCL, which is a social media ETF. If you go inside of that ETF and look at those social media companies, if you get inside that 10K report, there's a stat inside of them lines that says the average hourly rate or the average user rate of each person, something like that. And it tells you
my bad. Do you know which platform has the longest user rate? I'm sure it has to be in the Facebook ecosystem, but I'm interested to see what TikTok is.
I think it's YouTube.
It may be YouTube.
Really?
YouTube is a social media.
And the reason because YouTube allows those like there's people on YouTube with like the dude Ryan, like he has
oh my God.
You know what I'm saying?
The thing about the algorithm is that they keep you hooked. Yeah. So it's like you watch a video
and then they send you that.
They send you the recommended video and you get caught.
Yeah.
You get caught on the YouTube web, and before you know it, you're like watching like BMF documentaries.
Shout out, dude. Yeah. And you started out on the church service.
I'm aware of
This video has been recommended for you.
I know, right?
They got the nerve to ask you, are you still there?
Yeah. Man.
The great advantage about YouTube is that the audience always gets younger. And so most platforms, they struggle with that, right? Because they got to figure out how they engage the audience. YouTube's audience, like we know as parents, right? Like when we had our kids were very young, we were trying to learn nursery things, we put on YouTube. And so people are always going to have babies. And so they've already have a built-in strategy. Look, our audience will always get younger. And so we can always stay afloat.
My graduates from my school being Forbes, bag drop.
Bag drop.
A mic drop, bag drop.
Bag drop.